using the selected properties option. In the previous example, we used the all attributes properties option to give a level of access to lecturers to be able to modify and change students' user accounts. In this case, the next example, obviously we've got some office and administration users. As part of their job is to update student information such as their contact details, mailing address and phone number. Obviously, if we use the same all attributes option to give these office administration users the ability to change all options and all properties of a user account, that may lead to them accidentally or unexpectedly changing the logon hours, for example, or the passwords of a user account, because they are all classified as properties. So as a result, anytime we give anyone more power than they are required to do their job, that is a security risk. So with the selected properties option, we can actually control exactly what a group of users can actually do in the eDirectory. For example, let's do this. With the students organizational unit, right click, trustees of this object. Again, we will add a trustee. In this case, I'll add the office administration staff. Entry rights, basically they should not be able to do anything else except for seeing the objects, and that's fine. We'll only give them the browse, and we'll leave inheritable on so that they can see any objects underneath this point as well. With the all attributes rights, basically by default they're allowed to compare values, read the values, and inheritance is on, and that's fine. Basically, we don't want them to change all attributes of this of user accounts or student accounts underneath this organizational unit. So instead of giving them the right at this level with the all attributes option, we'll click add property. In this case, let's say we want them to be able to change someone's telephone number. Here's the telephone number option. Click OK, and you see telephone number is here. And for this specific property, for this one property, we can give them the right. So, and we'll turn on inheritable so that this right is inherited below. So with this selected properties option, we can actually give extra rights for the actual properties that we want this group of users to be able to modify, instead of giving them the ability to change all properties. As a result, it gives us more fine-grained control and is more powerful, so that we don't give these group of user extra rights than they require. Let's add another property. This time we'll add postal address. Here we go. And let's add postcode as well. Okay. So post address, again we'll let, and postcode, again we'll let them change those rights. As you noticed, by default these selected properties did not have inheritable checked, because this is very specific, and we may unintentionally allow the specific property to be inherited accidentally. So by default, inheritable is turned off, and if we want it to be inherited, we must manually turn it on. If you're wondering what happens when we've got the rights in the all attributes option, for instance being read and compare, conflicting with selected property rights, well, obviously postal address is also covered by all attributes rights. In this case, when there is a difference, the selected properties option is more powerful, or wins between the two, and as a result this takes precedence, giving the philosophy the more specific has higher precedence than the general. If we clicked OK now, it will give the office administration staff the ability to see and read all attributes of users or groups or any objects underneath the student organizational unit, but it will not allow them to change any of the properties except for telephone number, postcode and postal address, with which we've actually given them the right to change them. Click OK, click OK again, and with eDirectory rights, there is also the ability to look at the effective rights. So if we take effective rights and we find a specific user we're interested in, for example, let's have a look at the Alex user. We can see for the entry rights, Alex, because being a member of the lecturers group, has the browse, create and rename. For the all attributes option, it has all those rights, and we can see that for every individual properties they have, Alex's has these rights. If we do that again for Nathaniel, who's an office administration user, we can see that for the all attributes option, he has compare and read. For entry rights, only browse. For ACL, read and compare. But if we scroll down to postal address, you can see that he has compare, read, write and add self. You might be wondering why add self is there when we did not give office users the add self right. The reason is that the write right implies this add self right as well.